Hey folks, this is Kelani. With 8.1 still a couple of weeks away, you might be finding yourself wanting to play, but not really wanting to specifically play anything that Battle for Azeroth has to offer. The warfronts and island expeditions really don't seem to have held up all too well, at least for me personally. I'll tinker here and there with the warfronts, especially if I have a toon I need to gear up, and if I want to level up another alt, the islands are usually my first port of call. But what if I told you that island expeditions could be a lot more fun than what you used to? What if you could actively work towards certain rewards from that massive loot table that still hasn't been fully explained? Well, if you're willing to give island expeditions one more shot, I might just have the perfect add-on for you. This add-on is called Ahoy. I saw it posted to Reddit a few days ago and I figured I might as well give it a shot. I've got nothing better to do to see what this little add-on does, and I think it might be one of the best add-ons in Battle for Azeroth so far. If you ever want to get your hands on Squawks or any other item from the island's loot table, this is definitely a must-have add-on. So let's break it down a little bit, have a look at exactly what it does and why it makes island expeditions a lot more fun, or at the very least bearable to play. The main purpose of this add-on is to give you some idea as to what rewards you can expect at the end of your run. As it turns out, both rare monsters and smaller monsters give you a chance of various rewards at the end of your island run, so even if you don't focus solely on rares, you still have a decent chance at loot if you're killing the right stuff. That's the key. As you run around the island and target different monsters, the add-on window will populate itself with a variety of rewards that you can get for killing the targeted monster. So if you have a crab targeted, you can see you can get a pet. If you have a naga targeted, there's a wider variety of stuff you can see. But some monsters don't have any rewards tied to them at all. If you target something and it says no reward in the add-on window, chances are killing that mob isn't really going to do anything for you. The same goes for picking up shards of Azerite, smaller boxes of Azerite, or even mining Azerite. It just doesn't seem to benefit you in any way except for progressing your timer along. As a quick note, if all you want from the islands is AP, and more AP, you probably won't care about this add-on at all. Going after loot, pets, mounts, any of the 300 plus rewards that can come from island expeditions actually goes entirely against speedrunning islands. If that's all you want to do, farm AP and get them over as quickly as possible, you do you, but you probably won't get any cool rewards that way. So if you run into monsters which don't have a loot table, try to skip over them as much as possible. Target the stuff that can yield the rewards you want. If you're after the parrot mount, try kill as many pirates as possible. The cool thing about this add-on is that you don't have to keep going back and forth between websites like Wowhead to see what you can get, and what you have to kill to try and get it. Just target a mob and you can peruse through their entire loot table that we have access to right now. Apparently the dev team will be explaining island expeditions a bit better later on, which will hopefully serve to make this add-on even more useful, but for now it does a pretty fantastic job considering we had no solid information in-game previously. I actually wonder how we would feel about island expeditions if something like this was built into the system. The add-on will tally up all of your kills and show you how much Azerite you collected from specific types of monsters, so if you collect 2,000 Azerite from pirates, and the rest of your Azerite is broken into small chunks for other monsters and chests and whatnot, the chances of you getting a pirate reward should be a bit higher. There's no guarantees here, but hopefully you should be able to increase your chances by focusing your efforts on killing specific types of monsters, and the add-on will take you exactly to those monsters. By the end of your run, you can see exactly how much Azerite you collected and where you got it from. If you click on each type of monster, you can also see the potential rewards without having to target a monster in the world, so when you do get a reward, it's always fun going back through the potential drop list and seeing where it came from. Did I get those braces because I killed a bunch of elementals, or because I killed a bunch of Naga? Previously you could guess based upon the name of the item, but now you can see. Ah yeah, that was the elementals. Maybe I should kill more elementals next time to try and get a few more pieces for that transmog set. Can you imagine if this had been in the game right from the get-go, having some idea of what mobs were worth killing, of how the rewards were actually structured? The overall view of islands might be very different, and all it would have taken is a little bit more transparency, or a teeny bit of communication about how this system is designed to work. But as with a lot of issues in WoW throughout the years, we can always rely on the community to whip up an add-on or two to make things a lot easier to understand. There's a few things this add-on can do outside of the expeditions as well. You should notice that whenever you queue up for an island and when you're in the scenario itself, the add-on will pop up automatically, but outside of islands, if you want to play around with the add-on, you'll need to type /ahoy on. When the window pops up, if you click on the little pirate's hat at the top, you'll open up a variety of options. The magnifying glasses to the left allow you to make the window larger or smaller to suit your personal preferences. The cogwheel will open up a settings menu where you can tick or untick certain bits and bobs, like showing mob loot tables in the tooltip. That's definitely a handy one, so you can hover over monsters without having to click back and forth and see what items you can get. Set up things however you want. The question mark will show you a little help display which points out what every little part of the add-on does just in case you forget, and then you also have the option to lock the window so it won't move. If you have the window unlocked, you can drag it pretty much anywhere you want. When you find a nice spot where it's not in the way but you can still read everything, go ahead and lock it. The little scroll above the hat is a pretty cool addition. If you click that, you'll see the entire loot table of the island expeditions and where we think each item comes from. So at the bottom you can see right now there's 59 enemy types in the database with a grand total of 354 known items. This database will be expanded upon as more creatures are added and more rewards are added or found, and you have it all right there at your fingertips. How cool is that? You don't have to go to an external website, you can get it all in game. To get rid of the window at any point in time, just right click on it and poof, it disappears and you can go about your day. Perhaps the most worrying thing about seeing this all laid out though is how imbalanced the loot table seems to be. Why are there monsters in there if they couldn't match at least one little reward to them? I assume they'll all have a chance to drop the bags of doubloons or whatever, but why isn't there a wolf pet or a spider pet for the normal spiders? If you literally just kill all wolves and spiders and giants, you just wouldn't get loot, or at least you wouldn't have a chance to get any of the cooler loot. This also means that if you walk into an island that has a majority of ogres on it, for example, if ogres are the main monster for that island this week, which by the way just happens to be one of the monsters this week, ogres only have one item tied to them right now. So for islands like this, you're relying almost entirely on invasions to get a good chunk of same monster type kills that have a decent loot table. Suddenly it makes a lot of sense why you don't see actual items the majority of the time you run island expeditions. A lot of the monsters which have no reward are absolutely everywhere. They're the trash mobs which just fill in the gaps. They seem to make up half of the monsters on every island I run. Even if you kill a rare wolf or spider, or even the rare giants that have little bags of Azeroth next to them, none of that actually helps you if you want a pet or a mount, or even a transmog gear. All it does is fill up your Azeroth bar so you have less space left to kill some stuff which might give you some loot at the end of your run. Killing these mobs is the same as mining the Azeroth. It's great if you want to speed clear, but absolutely terrible if you want the other goodies on offer. And remember, there's 354 items you can get. If you populate your little tally chart with monsters that have a variety of rewards, the chances of you getting something is actually pretty high. The islands that I've run and managed to avoid the majority of fluff and just gone for the monsters with decent loot tables, normal mobs, elite mobs and rares, all of it is worth killing if it has a good loot table. The islands I've managed to do that, I've walked away with 1 or 2 items every time. I'm actually having a lot of fun walking around and hunting for monsters which have some cool rewards. It's definitely the treasure hunting aspect I was looking for when the dev team first announced island expeditions. Sadly, trying to do this kind of thing with pug groups doesn't tend to go too well. It's pretty inefficient to run around separately most of the time, and if your group is trying to speed through the island just for the AP, you probably won't end up getting any loot anyway, because the island will be over before you get to collect enough cool stuff in your little tally table. So if you can get a group together to really push for this kind of thing, that would probably be better and a lot more fun. It's always more fun when playing with friends, and this add-on can give you the info you need to go after the right types of monsters. Personally, I think islands need to be overhauled from the ground up to work completely differently, because I do see a lot of potential here, but the various parts of islands don't really seem to mesh that well. I would probably get rid of the Azeroth bar and have a timer instead and reward artifact power based upon how many monsters you're able to kill in time, something like that. I would also get rid of the opposite faction, because all they ever do is run interference. They also have no rewards tied to them, by the way, which I feel is a huge missed opportunity. There's another chance to add some more rare transmog in and model it after the groups that you're fighting. If you're facing the troll groups, make it another troll set based around what their abilities are. Just that kind of thing. There's so much potential there. There are so many issues with the way that islands are set up, and I don't think Blizzard will really want to change them drastically so early in the expansion. This add-on is at least a little step toward making them a fun experience, and I think it's a wonderful add-on, and honestly, Blizzard would be stupid if they didn't include something like this in the future. Tallying up your kills, showing you potential rewards, and just opening the door to actually being able to target some rewards for a change in island expeditions is amazing, but it's something that the dev team just seems to have glossed over entirely. Thankfully, we have the Ahoy add-on for now, so if you wanted to enjoy islands but just couldn't get into them for whatever reason, this add-on might give you that little extra push to change islands from a dreaded grind to something you might actually be able to enjoy. Give it a whirl, let me know what you think. I'll leave a link in the description below so you don't have to go hunting for it yourself. If you have the Twitch app to install add-ons, it's called Ahoy Island Expedition Helper. Do you think islands have some potential to be fun with this kind of add-on? Are you willing to give islands one more shot, or are they entirely dead content to you? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you want to join these lovely guys and gals, you can find a link in the description below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.